Welcome to the June edition of Northeast Journal. I'm your host, Joe Cullen. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll find out how area libraries are helping those who care for loved ones with memory loss. We'll get a preview of Marketfest in White Bear Lake, and we'll check out a new business that's a huge hit with kids and their parents. All that and more is straight ahead on Northeast Journal. Hello everyone and welcome to the June edition of Northeast Journal. I'm your host Joe Cullen. Every month on Northeast Journal we give you an inside look at the people and places that make up the Northeast section of the Twin Cities. Libraries provide important resources for the community, and the Ramsey County Library is leading the way when it comes to helping caregivers of people with memory loss. Here's the story. Caring for a loved one with memory loss comes with many challenges. The Ramsey County Library is trying to make things a little easier for caregivers with their new Memory Minder kits.
So often people maybe won't visit someone like a relative with Alzheimer's because they don't know what to say. You know, the person doesn't recognize them. It's a really hard interaction. And so this provides a way for people to have a pleasant interaction together based on what's in the bag.
The Memory Minder kits contain a variety of materials to help caregivers connect with those suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia. Shoreview Library Branch Manager Carol Jackson tells us what's inside the kits.
They consist of a book that has large, beautiful pictures and then maybe a few little conversational prompts. It comes with an activity like a puzzle or maybe a modified card game or conversation cards, or for the ones that are very low functioning, maybe just like a manual activity like lacing something together. They include a CD because so often music is one of the things people really remember and stays with them. And then it also includes a book called The Caregiver's Guide to Dementia, which is a fantastic, simple book with great strategies on how to, have really great interactions with people with Alzheimer's.
The kits are divided into high, middle, and low activity levels. Jackson says the Memory Minder kits are the first of their kind in a library nationwide, and the response so far has been tremendous.
It's really been so lovely because our display is right next to the reference desk. So I see somebody coming up and they're looking and and I tell them about the kit, and I had a woman say to me, I just feel so refreshed knowing this is here.
The Memory Minder kits were created through a joint collaboration between the Ramsey County Library and the Roseville Alzheimer and Dementia Community Action Team. The kits are available at both the Shoreview and Roseville libraries, but can also be requested to check out at any Ramsey County Library branch. For more information, visit the library's website at rclreads.com. A ceremony was held last month to honor members of law enforcement agencies throughout suburban Ramsey County who have died in the line of duty. Producer Mary Klein and photographer Nick Anderson have this report.
Before I begin, I'd like to first off welcome all of you to New Brighton. There's a lot of distinguished guests in the audience here and also behind me, and thank you all for the work that you do. But especially today, I'd really like to welcome our special guests, who are the members of the Friends of the Fallen Officers. Welcome to New Brighton. Today we embrace you, our arms are wrapped around you, and we are happy that you're here.
During this National Police Week, we remember those fallen peacemakers, the ones who repaid evil in our society with something very good, that which the Creator in the original Hebrew text labels as gooder than good. Those peacemakers who gave fully of themselves, their entire human existence.
At a memorial service during World War II, General George Patton said, "We should not mourn that such men died, but rather we should thank God that such men lived." In the context of today's service, such men are the law enforcement officers who lost their lives in the line of duty.
Peacemaking is not passive. We in law enforcement cannot sit on the sidelines or watch from the stands. Peacemaking requires us to take the first step and get out on the field in our communities. We do not sit back and wait for peace to just come about, but rather you men and women of law enforcement take the lead to make peace happen. Let the sacrifices we recognize again today remind us of our calling to this great profession of peacemaking.
May no officer ever fall alone to lie cold in their grave. May those of us still serving remember well the price they paid. May their memories stand forever as those who went down brave. Lord, give us courage to carry on, to still live and care, to not be vengeful or bitter, to simply trust your word is true. May we always cover with pride the shield we wear, to honor all fallen officers whom we now commend to you.
There's a new business in White Bear Lake that kids are begging their parents to take them to. Let's check out the Wishing Tree Play Cafe. A brand new indoor playground and cafe is drawing rave reviews in White Bear Lake from both young children and their caregivers. Jenny and Brian Enlow are longtime White Bear Lake residents, and as the parents of 5 kids, they felt the area was lacking for a nice indoor play spot. That inspired them to open the Wishing Tree Play Cafe.
18 years of thinking about it goes back to what do mom and dads like to be around? What does it look like? I want something calm and educational for the kids so they can just relax but also get their wiggles out. But I don't want to be overstimulating or overstressful where it's not relaxing for the grown-ups too.
Besides all of the fun stuff to play on for the kids, there is also a cafe with food and drinks to make any age happy.
We specialize in crepes, lattes, smoothies, paninis, soups, salads. We have an amazing menu that we're very excited to share that's healthy with many indulgence too.
The Wishing Tree Play Cafe opened in September. Business has been great over the colder months, and the owners are confident the summer will be busy too.
We're excited about the summer because with that we get to add more programming. We're having a summer book club called Book Hounds. We're going to have 13 local authors come in and read to the children every Wednesday. And we have lots of fitness things added. We have more princesses on the patio. With this kind of climate, we get to add more fun.
The Wishing Tree Play Cafe is located at 1011 Meadowlands Drive in White Bear Lake. You can find them online at thewishingtreeplaycafe.com. It's time for a short break. When we come back, we'll get a preview of Marketfest in downtown White Bear Lake. As we go to the break, here's some highlights from a recent dedication ceremony at Casey Lake Park in North St. Paul. The ball field there was named after Jerry Bell, a longtime North St. Paul resident and former president of the Minnesota Twins.
Now therefore be it resolved that the City of North St. Paul recognize this day, May 6, 2017, as Jerry and Phyllis Bell Day in our city in conjunction with the Jerry Bell Baseball Field dedication. That citizens in our city are encouraged to celebrate this special day with the Bell family, and that the contributions in Jerry and Phyllis Bell be recorded with this proclamation in the annals of our city's history. So Jerry, thank you for all you've done for the city and all you've done to promote baseball in our state. I couldn't be proud of an old friend any more than I am right now.
This field and the other ones that the Community Fund has participated in is all about kids having a good place to play, safe place, and a field that they deserve. So that's the main reason for this, and we can't forget that. I'm overwhelmed by everything that Dave and his organization has put together, but thank you very much.
Jerry and I have known each other, like I said, a long time now, so it's just nice to see that he's being recognized for all the hard work that sometimes you do behind the scenes, and it's nice to be able to come out here and be part of his celebration.
It's a great for the community, like pointed out by many people, that the kids, the boys, the girls, they get an opportunity to play on a pretty nice ball field. I think back when the fields that we had to play on, and to see this, it's just remarkable. Hopefully it gets used, and I'm sure it will. And so it's an honor for Jerry. He's done so much for the community, in the state of Minnesota. He deserves it. So we all appreciate Jerry Bell.
Did you go tanning? You're getting so tan. We need some sun.
Protect yourself. Protect your friends. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org.
Check that smooth backside. No, really, check it. When detected early, skin cancer is highly treatable. Learn more about what to look for at spotskincancer.org.
From your first sunrise to the sunset of life, we are with you through life's journey. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. Visit socialsecurity.gov.
This video produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Welcome back to Northeast Journal. If it's summer, then it means it's time for Marketfest. Marketfest is a free family festival held in downtown White Bear Lake on Thursday evenings from mid-June to the end of July. I'm joined now by the director of Marketfest, Deb Stender. Deb, I want to thank you for once again coming here on Northeast Journal.
Thanks so much for having me.
I know you've been on the last few years, and it's amazing how quickly this always comes around. I feel like you were just on talking about last year's Marketfest, but here we are again.
Yeah, yay, summer.
And this is the, I believe, is it 27th annual?
27th year of Marketfest, yes.
Yeah, it feels like we just had you on talking about the 25th, but for those, I gave a brief description in my introduction, but for those who maybe are new to the area or aren't familiar, can you just kind of tell us a little bit about what exactly is Marketfest?
Absolutely. So as you said, it is held in downtown White Bear Lake. It starts June 15th and runs 7 consecutive weeks, so Thursday evenings from 6 to 9. It's an amazing transformation of downtown with about 130 to 150 vendors per week, and that is in addition to the downtown businesses that participate as well. I think some of the highlights of the event include 2 stages of live entertainment and intermission acts that are local performers, businesses from the area, which I think is a really special piece. And I might add too that many of the bands that perform at Marketfest have some kind of tie to the White Bear Lake area. So I think, again, that's a very special piece of our event. Some things to note, of course, are some amazing family activities. We've got big, huge inflatables for the kids, climbing wall, giant slide, a petting zoo. One of my favorites, our classic car show for all those admirers of those neat cars that come. We've got a variety of food vendors, which I think is definitely a highlight, so plan to have dinner there. And then again, many vendors that range from artisans to jewelers to women's clothing.
I know there's usually quite a few booths too, even just like local organizations or resources, everything from maybe people that are campaigning for an election coming up, or things from the schools or area churches, that type of thing.
Absolutely. We have a number of nonprofits and, as you said, resources too, with a lot of information that I think, again, makes our community very unique.
And I know a lot of those, if people are into that, usually a lot of them have the little freebies. You can definitely pick up a pen or something fun like that if you need to.
Fun stuff.
And as you mentioned, one of the most popular things, of course, is the food. And there's a lot of, old favorites, places that have been there since day one, and sometimes, newer things, and maybe some of the food trucks are popping up over the last few years. It just seems like there's kind of something for everyone if you're looking to, like you said, have dinner there or a snack or something.
Absolutely, agreed. And we do pride ourselves on trying to have the most variety that we can.
And, tell me a little bit too now about, you mentioned, there's activities for kids. Like I said, you got the bouncy stuff, and I have a young son, so I'm very familiar with that area. Things change from when I didn't have a child, and you go just to kind of meander and take your time, to then I realize, I'm going to spend pretty much my whole evening here at the bouncy house. But Like I said, I know there's usually face painting and clowns and all sorts of things going on.
Absolutely, and we have a new special feature this year too that I think a lot of the kids and families will like too, which is a gentleman that goes by the name of the Bubble Baron. And so he does very creative things with bubbles and entertains the crowd too. So just a little fun thing in addition, like you said, to the face painting and balloon twisters and clowns that we have that kind of roam the whole event.
I know we've met one of the clowns, like Rusty the Clown.
Yes,
I think he
Rusty.
seems to be kind of a
He's
permanent fixture there.
Marketfest clown.
Yeah, we've run into him at a number of different events, and it seems like I always see him there with a long line of kids getting ready
They
to
love him.
get balloon animals. And I understand you have kind of different themed weeks. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so every week on 4th Street between Washington and Banning, we have a themed kind of fair or festival within the event itself. So a couple to note, we have a health fair one week, we've got a public safety fair, which I think is one of the favorites too. It get a little bit more robust with the fire department, police department, Ramsey County Sheriff Department. They kind of bring out all their best things. I love that the city helps with a environmental resource fair. Speaking of things, to learn about that we can do in our community, that's a wonderful opportunity to learn about, you name it, environmentally, it's there. I love that we do a week where we offer booths for kids only. So it kind of showcases and highlights interests that some of our youth in the area have. And then one of my very favorites is what we have called a business runway show. And it's comprised of a lot of the downtown businesses, and we put out a red carpet and do kind of a fun runway show, but it's a little, I'd say a little more variety to it than what some people might think of hair and fashion. It's goods and wares from many of the stores around. And there's lots of giveaways. So I would recommend going to that one.
It sounds like a lot of fun. And as you mentioned earlier too, there's always lots of great music, a couple different stages. And I know one of our other channels, Channel 19 On Location, they come out every year to cover the concerts, the ones that are kind of in that the bandshell gazebo area. So I was, kind of interested in that, just looking through the list, and it looked like you have a lot of great acts lined up for this year. Like you said, a lot with local ties. I'm always amazed when you read the biographies. So many of them have somebody who's from White Bear Lake, and a wide variety. Sometimes it's younger people or, kind of established musicians as well.
Yeah, we really try to hit on a lot of genres of music too, so that again, and any given week between the two stages, that there would be music that would be appealing to all demographics.
And I know from my experiences being there, helping to film, there's always an intermission with some local, a lot of times youth-based, where you have, maybe the gymnastics or dancing or kids doing karate. I'm always amazed at that too, that I've seen everything from puppet shows to kids doing the karate to dancing and kind of everything in between.
Yeah, it's nice to showcase some of those businesses and things that people are involved in the community too. It definitely highlights that. I might add too that speaking of youth, we're always trying to get more and more activities and more participation, and I'm really happy to say that this year too we have some Masters of Ceremonies from our high school theater program that will be emceeing the stages and introducing, doing a little entertaining, and I think will add a nice element to our whole programming.
Oh, that's great. And I imagine to pull this off every week for 7 weeks in a row, you must you probably can't do it all on your own. I'm guessing there must be some volunteers. Are there, still opportunities for people if they're interested in helping out?
Absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers. I always like to use the phrase, it takes a village, and it really does. Without their volunteers, our committee members, businesses helping, we certainly couldn't put an event this size on for 7 weeks. And so absolutely, I'd encourage anybody that's interested in volunteering to visit our website and give me a quick email.
Great. And, obviously, hopefully you always, I'm sure, are hoping for good weather. And it seems like most years, most weeks are just fine. You have a nice sunny night.
We've been fortunate. It does happen, but we are a rain or shine event. And so I'm ever amazed, too, that we have some real troopers out there. So we do continue the event unless there's extreme weather. Then, of course, we don't want it to put anybody in harm's way. But for the most part, I think we've only canceled maybe one or two possibly, but not many over the 27 years. So we have been very fortunate in our weather.
And I'm sure it's fun too. You know, you obviously have people that live either right in White Bear or the surrounding communities that, are kind of permanent fixtures that come to it every year. But I know people that I meet that, live a ways away that's what first brought them. They maybe had never been to downtown White Bear Lake, so then they learn more about what the community has to offer, visit some of the shops, and come back maybe another time.
It's very true. Of course, White Bear has a large community base, but we are ever amazed at how many people from even outside of the community come in, and we love that. I mean, the mission of Marketfest really is to highlight the downtown businesses, and of course we want to get the word out. We want people to come and shop and visit downtown White Bear Lake.
All right, great. And you mentioned a website earlier. I believe that's marketfest.org.
.org.
All right,
correct.
Perfect. So people can go there. I know it's a great website. You have, the different lineups of what the different theme weeks are. You can see the list of performers. Like you said, get contact info if they need more information or want to volunteer. And otherwise, we hope people will come out. And it starts June 15th, is that right?
It's June 15th.
It runs through the end of July.
Correct.
So, hopefully it all goes well this year. We'll look forward to seeing you out there. And thank you so much for stopping by again. I'm sure we'll be talking with you again in the future. And one thing I might add before we go, we have another minute. I know you're also involved with events for community of White Bear Township. And you guys are doing a new thing this year, some movies in the evenings. Can you tell us a little bit about that,
thanks so
too?
much. Yes, I'd encourage anyone from the community to attend. I have a little catchphrase, the second Saturday of the month. We started in May. We'll go through September with White Bear Township Day, but every second Saturday we have a movie in Polar Lakes Park. And too, for a list of those movies, visit the White Bear Township website under the events tab, and they have that list.
And it looks like from what I had seen, some good family offerings that the whole family can go and enjoy. And,
absolutely.
Great. So we hope people will go to Marketfest and go see those movies and all the exciting events that this White Bear area has to offer. So thanks so much, Deb, and we'll, I'm sure, be talking to you again soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And it's time for another short break. We'll be right back with more of Northeast Journal in just a minute.
Heroes come from small towns.
Many of our heroes coming home from wars in Iraq and Afghanistan have a new battle, unemployment. Hello, I'm Rocky Lynn.
I'm Sergeant Dejan Farrell.
And I'm Captain Ron Jarvie. The unemployment rate for today's veteran is 12%.
That's twice the average of others living here in the Heartland.
This year, tribute to the troops, the armed forces, and members of the Upper Midwest ME chapter are asking you to help. Hire today's veteran.
To hire today's veteran, visit positivelyminnesota.com/veterans.
Extra DWI enforcement is now being served on Minnesota roads. Don't be what you drink.
Welcome back to Northeast Journal. Spring has something special to offer in Vadnais Heights. Producer Jeff Melcock introduces us to an area farmer who is growing some sweet treats.
The smells of spring are in the air.
Raised as a farmer's kid, now I'm a farmer.
Susan Dahl invited us to her property in Vadnais Heights to experience something rather unique to Minnesota: fruit trees. Plum, peach, and pear trees paint the landscape.
And I like to do gardening. And when I came, we start planting more tree. And I start planting tree everywhere, more fruit tree.
The fruit trees are able to thrive even with the temperature extremes of Minnesota because of a process called grafting.
My husband likes to graft, and this is a grafted tree. He put the branch there on the root stock, and root is a different, and top is a different. We have lots of grafted tree, and that's what we do. We plant the tree there, and he gonna graft.
Dahl made her way to America in 1997 by way of Nepal, and today she brought with her a surprise. Well, several of them to be exact.
We have a goat, 30 goats in our branch, and we have a chicken, couple hundred chickens, and we have a sheep. And this year we have 10 babies. She is a 4 days old boar baby.
But today they're only here for a short visit, enjoying what spring has to offer and quickly developing an affinity for our camera gear. Dahl sells her farm goods at area farmers markets, including Vadnais Heights. She loves living off the land.
That's how I grew up, eating healthy, natural, and teaching people like how living healthy life, eating natural, that's how we produce without chemical.
We'll check back with Susan Dahl later this summer when she harvests the fruits of her labor.
That's all we have time for. Thanks for tuning in, and join us again next month for another edition of Northeast Journal. We leave you this time with some sights that photographer Brian Henshin compiled from a couple of events that took place recently at Walton Park in Oakdale, the Arbor Day tree giveaway, and the first ever Oakdale Pet Event.
This is our 42nd anniversary of celebrating Arbor Day. Arbor Day in Oakdale is really important, of course, because of our symbol of the oak tree is our logo and our symbol. But in our case, our residents are amazing in their desire to have a beautiful community, to improve their homes. And then our city's decision 42 years ago to sponsor this event for a free tree giveaway was amazing. So just recently too, when Pete Grasky passed away, we named it the Pete Grasky Arbor Day Tree Giveaway. And Pete was number one, so he's a naturalist, arborist. His family is terrific in the community and a longtime supporter. So it's really cool to be able to announce this and help people understand the importance of trees and sustainability and greenery, and it works well.
This tree giveaway is a very important aspect of Arbor Day in the city of Oakdale, and folks pick out the variety of tree. We had 4 varieties today, and they bring them to the master gardeners, and we look for things like girdling roots or anything that may interfere with the tree's natural growth once it's in the ground, because sometimes a girdling root can show up 16 or 20 years later and kill the tree. So we look at them very carefully, make sure they're trimmed, the roots are trimmed correctly. We dip them in this solution over here. It's called hydrogel, and it keeps those roots moist until the property owner can get the tree into the ground.